Hey, it's Bruce from the Joinery Coach. I'm here with Michael from Blank Joinery, my favorite customer here in Botany. And we're just doing a bit of a company review, and just thought I'd ask you some questions. I've been on board with you, what, for now, 3-4 months?
Yeah, 4 months.
4 months. Tell us a little bit about your history, like the business history, just briefly, how many years in business, that sort of thing.
I think we're going on 4 years now.
4 years, yeah.
And yeah, basically we started small, like most people. We had myself and another guy who's still with me, young Luke. And yeah, we just worked our way up from there.
Cool.
And we've pretty much made a big leap coming to our current premises where we are in the last 6 months, and that's been a real change for us.
Yeah, it's a beautiful facility. Yeah. What sort of struggles do you feel like you've had in business over the years that have held you back?
Oh goodness, held me back. Yeah, look, I suppose installation, juggling, trying to keep the workshop open, and then having full-time installers, and then it's just a big backwards and forwards, and you're never really progressing.
Yeah, the balancing act of work.
Definitely, yeah, and obviously, I suppose the financial side of things, just always keeping your focus on the bank account rather than knowing the numbers and exactly where I need to be. I've just always got,
Yeah. So how did you hear about me as far as the Joinery Coach?
Okay, I actually reached out to my software provider and said we're having issues. We're just having general issues, whether it was we're not fast enough, we're not getting things out the door quick enough, or blaming the software, and he said, I think you need to contact this guy, yourself, and which I did, and that was through my software provider.
Yeah. I remember that, and so we had a conversation, and so there was a potential solution in front of you. What were some of the things even still that you were hesitant still with to get on board with our specifically about the joinery, the coaching program?
I'm trying to think of the conversation we had. I think it was I suppose the financial side of things, of working out being a lot of money to come up with each month, and that was probably the main factor, was when we're going to get out of this.
Uncertainty, the investment, is it going to pay back?
Yeah.
Okay, and so if someone was sitting in front of you now that was in your position, what would you tell them as far as, if you have concerns about, is it worth the investment? What do you feel now, sitting here after 4 months?
Well, these are obviously telling my competitors now, but I'll be honest, it's the best thing I ever did.
Wow, okay.
Whereas before I might say, no, you don't want to do it, but I don't know how long we would have lasted, really. We probably would have kept battling on for the next 10 years or so, and just never really got anywhere. But yeah, it's just night and day. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and look, as far as I'm concerned, your improvement over the last 4 months in the business really has been due to your investment in it, time-wise, and your ability to actually be willing to take the ideas on board and try them in the company and implement them. So, I can only do so much, but your willingness to actually implement them is really responsible. You're responsible for your growth, basically. So it's really cool. It's really cool to see. So we've come a long way in 4 months. Really, we've done a lot in a fairly short period of time. What are the sort of 3 things that you think we've done? We've got you off the tools.
Yeah. That was. That's going on 2 weeks now. I think I've been off the tools consistently. That's the first time ever, and I actually don't feel guilty about it. That was a big struggle for myself. It was. That was, I suppose, my way of coping, and knowing that it was going to get done, and get out there and show the guys and get it done and take on the hard stuff and all the rest of that. But that was holding me back. I suppose, that was a big thing for me.
So we've helped you go from working in the business.
Yep.
And you still have to work in the business a little bit. Now you're working on the business.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a big step. How do you feel about the future of the business now, from where you were to where you are right now?
Yeah, I'm very positive. I actually feel like there will be a future now, whereas before, and I think I mentioned it to yourself, wasn't sure how long we're going to keep going the way we're going, especially with the move that we had here. And we had a nice little setup in a smaller factory before, and it was all manageable. And we came here, and I was just like, well, what have we done? How are we, how are we going to keep going? But now,
real positive.
Yeah, extremely positive. I'm confident.
Yeah. As far as tangibles, in the very short period of time, we're saying 4 months. Do you think we've created better flow in the factory? Have we shortened lead times? Like what can we attach a tangible to?
Oh goodness, our jobs are pretty much on time most of the time now. I suppose we're more aware of if there is a delay or something that's going to delay us.
Yeah.
We're onto it straight away rather than using it as an excuse and waiting up until the last minute saying trying to blame people.
Yep.
We're now, I think we're pretty much on time, and that it's come back to the having somebody doing all the planning, the production manager. I think it's good.
That's a good point, actually. We've assigned people in specific roles so that those specific positions are getting
That's
done
one
better,
of the-
but we haven't added more people.
That's probably the biggest step we've made is by allocating the people to the roles and everybody doing that role, rather than before we just had 5 or 6 people just sort of
Doing whatever.
not necessarily blaming each other, but
Yeah.
like it was just people. It was just mayhem.
What do we call it? Herding cats?
Trying to hurt. We were herding cats
We're
here.
herding cats.
It's all you, but pretty much it's all you've ever known. Especially any cabinet maker will tell you. I've been at a whole heap of different companies.
Yeah.
And it's you walk in and you know what to expect in a cabinet making place pretty much. And
Yeah, you learn the bad way first, don't you?
You do.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, that's excellent. So thanks for your time.
Yep.
Bruce from the Journey Coach. Hope that was helpful. Peace out.